Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we will learn about the shocking developments that will unfold in the upcoming 2 episodes airing on Wednesday, October 1st and Thursday, October 2nd, as Salem faces devastating revelations, dangerous situations, and schemes that threaten to tear apart multiple relationships. The drama intensifies as adoption dreams crumble, hidden truths surface, and a life-threatening fire puts beloved characters in peril. Johnny and Chanel's adoption dreams shattered. Wednesday's episode delivers a crushing blow to Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree when they receive devastating news from social services regarding their plans to adopt baby Tesoro. The couple, who have overcome numerous obstacles including Johnny's demonic possession, Chanel's miscarriage from radioactive iodine exposure, and Johnny's recent arrest for allegedly shooting his father EJ, now face another heartbreaking setback. The birth mother has officially filed objections to the adoption, throwing their carefully planned future into chaos. This revelation comes at a particularly vulnerable time for the couple, as Chanel had been told by Gala that she might not be able to carry a baby to term, making the adoption of Tesoro feel like destiny. Johnny and Chanel had convinced themselves that fate was on their side when they coincidentally encountered Tate at Horton Square, just as he mentioned giving up the baby for adoption. The timing seemed almost magical when the original Christian couple from church backed out of the adoption, leaving baby Tesoro available. However, Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez, the foster parents who have been caring for Tesoro, have expressed serious concerns about Johnny's suitability as a father, adding another layer of complexity to this already tangled situation. Gala delivers shocking news to Brady. In a parallel storyline that threatens to unravel months of carefully constructed lies, Gala Brady brings Brady some surprising news that could potentially be related to DNA test results involving Tate Black. Steve Johnson and Brady have been conducting a secret investigation after piecing together suspicious inconsistencies in Sophia Choi's story about when she gave birth and the sex of her baby. The two men enlisted Rafe Hernandez to obtain a DNA sample from baby Tesoro, and Brady provided Tate's toothbrush for comparison testing. Gala, honoring her husband Steve's request while maintaining her professional ethics, directed them to use an external DNA testing service where they could submit samples anonymously to the lab. The results from this test could confirm their growing suspicion that baby Tesoro is actually Tate and Sophia's biological child, making him John Black's great-grandson. Steve has expressed the emotional weight of this possibility, remembering how John faced a similar situation years ago when he discovered unexpected family connections. If the DNA results prove their theory correct, it would expose Sophia's elaborate deception orchestrated with District Attorney Melinda Trask, who helped fabricate the story about adoptive parents in Chicago. Holly's rejection and the growing love triangle. The emotional turmoil continues as Holly Jonas delivers another devastating blow to Tate Black, firmly declaring that she refuses to become entangled in a love triangle with him and Sophia Choi. Holly's rejection cuts deep, as she remains convinced that Tate betrayed her trust by sleeping with Sophia in his dorm room. The misunderstanding stems from a calculated scheme by Sophia, who has been obsessively determined to keep Holly and Tate apart permanently. Sophia has always harbored intense feelings for Tate and views Holly as the only obstacle standing between her and the relationship she desperately craves. Her jealousy has driven her to increasingly dangerous and manipulative tactics, including the pregnancy announcement that originally split the couple apart. Sophia deliberately avoided contacting Tate when their son was born, instead choosing to drop the baby in a safe haven box at the fire station without his knowledge. This decision was motivated by her desire to attend college without the burden of raising a child, while simultaneously keeping Tate in the dark about their son's whereabouts. Now Sophia's schemes are evolving into even more sinister territory as she plots to sabotage multiple relationships simultaneously. Sophia's dangerous manipulation escalates. Behind the scenes, Sophia's plans begin to crystallize as she embarks on a vengeful mission to destroy both Johnny and Chanel's adoption hopes and Holly and Tate's romantic future. Evidence suggests that Sophia deliberately drugged Holly, creating an opportunity to stage compromising photographs that could be weaponized against innocent parties. The manipulative teenager has been working methodically to plant seeds of doubt and suspicion, knowing that appearances often matter more than truth in the court of public opinion. Her desperation stems from the mounting pressure of her lies potentially being exposed, particularly as Brady and Steve get closer to uncovering the truth about baby Tesoro's real identity. Sophia fears that if Tate ever holds or even sees his biological son, the emotional connection would change everything and derail her carefully constructed fantasy of a future together. Working in tandem with Melinda Trask, who has her own professional reputation at stake, Sophia has created an elaborate web of deception that includes falsified adoption paperwork and fabricated communications from non-existent adoptive parents. When Tate expressed frustration about being denied visitation rights with his child, Sophia burst into tears around Tesoro, manipulating his sympathies while hiding her true panic about the situation. Stephanie and EJ's strategic agreement. Adding another dimension to Wednesday's episode, Stephanie Johnson reaches a significant agreement with E.J. DiMera, likely involving arrangements for the Tom Horton Free Clinic's grand opening gala. This hospital fundraising event holds special significance, as it coincides with Days of Our Lives' milestone 60th anniversary celebration. E.J. has been positioning himself as a philanthropic benefactor through hospital wing renovations and the establishment of the free clinic, though his true motivations remain questionable. Behind his altruistic facade, E.J. has been conducting mysterious experiments in a secret laboratory, hinting at disturbing plans that may somehow relate to preserving his father Stefano DiMera's legacy. The gala preparations bring together multiple Salem residents, creating opportunities for confrontations, revelations, and unexpected alliances. Stephanie's involvement in organizing this major event demonstrates her professional capabilities, while potentially putting her in proximity to dangerous secrets that E.J. desperately wants to keep hidden. Thursday's heartbreak for Chanel. Thursday's episode brings crushing emotional devastation as Chanel finds herself heartbroken over circumstances that may involve either the definitive collapse of the Tesoro adoption or the discovery of inappropriate photos of Holly appearing on Johnny's phone. The revelation of these photos would be particularly devastating given that Johnny has recently started his new position as an adjunct professor at Salem University teaching an entry-level film class. Finding compromising images of one of his students on his personal device would create an explosive scandal that could destroy his career and their marriage. The photographs appear to be part of Sophia's calculated plan to create maximum chaos across multiple fronts, targeting not just her romantic rivals but also anyone standing in the way of her goals. The intimate nature of these staged photos would suggest an inappropriate relationship that never actually occurred, weaponizing Holly's vulnerability against innocent parties. Chanel's heartbreak intensifies as she processes how this situation impacts both her marriage to Johnny and their shattered dreams of creating a family through adoption. Tate's confession and the fire crisis. The drama reaches a fever pitch when Tate confides in his father Brady about the shocking moment when Holly physically assaulted him, punching him before ending their relationship after discovering Sophia in his dorm room. Tate's confusion and hurt are palpable as he tries to explain the misunderstanding to Brady, knowing that Holly has jumped to the wrong conclusion about what transpired between him and Sophia. Holly's mistaken belief that Tate and Sophia slept together has created an impenetrable wall between the former couple, with Holly refusing to hear any explanations or consider alternative interpretations of what she witnessed. The situation deteriorates dramatically when a fire suddenly breaks out in the dormitory, creating a life-threatening emergency that forces everyone to confront their priorities. The blaze appears to have started accidentally after Holly, who had been drinking heavily due to Sophia's manipulation, knocked over a candle in her impaired state. Flames quickly spread through her room as smoke curled dangerously into the air, creating a scenario that could end in tragedy. In a moment of pure instinct and courage, Tate charges into the burning room and pulls an unconscious Holly to safety, performing a heroic rescue that echoes classic romantic drama. Holly's continued rejection despite rescue. Despite Tate's brave actions saving her life, Holly's response defies all romantic expectations as she lashes out at her rescuer with sharp, pride-fueled words. Instead of expressing gratitude, Holly explodes with anger, accusing Tate of meddling in her life and insisting she doesn't need his help. Her rejection comes with teeth as she tells Tate to focus on Sophia instead, effectively pushing him toward the very person who orchestrated this entire disaster. This reaction reveals the depth of Holly's emotional wounds and the impenetrable wall she has constructed around herself to avoid further hurt. The physical danger of the fire becomes a metaphor for the emotional inferno consuming these young people's lives as misunderstandings and manipulations create ever-widening rifts between them. Maggie's confrontation and questions. In the aftermath of the fire, Maggie Horton confronts Holly about the dangerous incident that could have claimed her granddaughter's life. Maggie's concern extends beyond the immediate crisis to larger questions about whether Holly is truly prepared for the responsibilities and challenges of college life. The conversation forces an examination of Holly's recent choices, including the drinking that led to her passing out with a lit candle in her room. Maggie's maternal instincts kick into high gear as she recognizes the warning signs of a young woman spiraling out of control under the influence of peer pressure and emotional turmoil. The discussion touches on themes of accountability, maturity, and the consequences of poor decision-making that could have resulted in not just Holly's death, but potentially other students' lives being endangered. Sophia's mounting panic. As the episode concludes, Sophia finds herself in a state of escalating panic over multiple threats to her carefully constructed lies. The fire has created unwanted attention and scrutiny that could lead investigators to ask uncomfortable questions about how Holly ended up in such a vulnerable, intoxicated state. Sophia's fear compounds as she realizes that the DNA test results could be imminent, potentially exposing her deception about baby Tesoro and unraveling everything she has worked to conceal. Her desperation grows as she recognizes that multiple threads of her web of lies are beginning to fray simultaneously, threatening to expose not just one secret, but an entire network of manipulations and deceits. The consequences she faces could include legal repercussions from Melinda Trask's involvement, social ostracism from her peers, and the permanent loss of any chance with Tate once he discovers the full extent of her schemes. Sophia's panic represents the inevitable collapse that occurs when lies pile upon lies until the entire structure becomes unsustainable. These two explosive episodes promise to deliver the dramatic intensity that Days of Our Lives fans crave, with multiple storylines converging toward revelations that will reshape relationships and futures across Salem.